setting new standards in podcast excellence. You have joined the WBT, fully focused on business and taxes. Here is your host, Michael Lodge.
And welcome to the WBT. This is Michael Lodge. I'm glad you've joined me this morning. It's a beautiful, cloudy day here in South Carolina. Topic today is communications. I'll be right back.
This is brought to you by Lodge & Co., a business and tax advisory firm where your success is our goal. Call us today toll-free at 888-681-1518. Or visit us at www.lodge-co.com and learn more about what we can do for you. Lodge & Co., your source for sound business and tax services.
My goodness, over the weekend we had some tragedy, didn't we? We really had some issues of individuals where people broke down and they decided to do an evil deed, and they went out and they killed some people in two different cities in the United States. Not a good experience for Americans. We hate to see that happen. And the incidents go two ways. They go political, and then they go, what can we do to make this better? That's the question, and that's the issue that we all need to look at. How can we make this world, our country, our communities, our homes, a better place to live? One of the aspects that I've noticed is that we have lost our communication process. If you go to any restaurant or any place in this world almost, you will see people sitting there texting, emailing, sending emails. Now in business we have to do it. In business we do it because we want documentation of the conversations or the requests or the concerns of our clients. So we document it very well through texts and emails. But in our human life, away from the office or even in the office, we have lost the art of communication. Instead of reaching out and listening to someone literally talk to us, we're sitting there texting and there's no emotion in the text. There's no hurt, there's no pain, there's nothing that you can hear or realize from a text message or an email message. We have lost the ability to communicate one-on-one. When you go to a restaurant and you see everybody at their tables with their food texting, Instagramming, Facebooking, Twitter, they're not communicating. There's no way that you can hear the anger or the pain or the mental stress or the mental hurt or the physical hurt or whatever it may be, whatever hurt it may be. You cannot hear it through a text. You can only hear it through the spoken word. You cannot hear happiness. You cannot hear grief. You cannot hear the human emotions through texting, email, Instagramming, or whatever other social media outlet that you're using. This is not communication. Communication is when we know how to sit down with a friend, a family member, a child, and talk to them eyeball to eyeball, heart to heart, face to face. If people were to listen more, they might be able to hear the bad decisions that other people are making in their lives by choosing to hate. Anytime there is hateful words being spoken, you have got to be able to open your ears and question hate. Challenge hate. Because hate is a mental health problem. Because hate can grow into a disaster. So we need to learn to communicate. We need to put our cell phones down and our texting devices and literally sit across from people and listen to their life experiences on a daily basis. We have become a lazy human being because it's easier just to send a 3-letter text or a 3-word text or an LL or LOL, whatever it may be, instead of literally talking to that individual and listening. We have lost the art of listening, and we've lost the art of talking. I think I've come to the conclusion, can we really go to an individual that doesn't know how to communicate for advice? I am not going to get good advice through a text, because I'm not going to hear the sincerity of that advice that that individual is giving me through a text or through an email. We have human beings all around us. We have mothers and fathers and brothers and sisters and grandparents and children and godchildren, and they're all around us, and they need to hear your voice, and you need to hear their voice. We need to be able to listen to the issues that people are going through so that we can help them. And we have stopped helping because we have forgotten how to communicate. We have to do better. We have to be able to sit there and be able to listen and learn how to listen again, because we have forgotten how to do that. I was on a phone call on Friday with an individual who had gone through her whole life of pain, and she needed to let it out. And so I listened. And you would be surprised how the feeling in your heart when you are trying to help somebody just by listening. Sometimes we have to let out that stress. 2 hours on the phone. And I didn't mind, because I believe in this art of communication. If you know there is someone in pain, and when you hear the voice and you hear the tears coming across the phone line or in front of you, you know that you have reached that individual, because now they have the ability to express their joy, their pain, their emotions. We need to do better than this. That's why communication is the key to solving problems. Listen, I'm a mediator. And I mediate family issues, divorce issues, business issues, all kinds of issues, employee work situations. And my whole job is about listening and teaching the people that come before me in mediation to listen also. Because when we listen, it helps the other person feel that they are accepted for what they are saying. So this art of listening, and this art of communication, an art of forming words that can uplift other people or help them solve issues, is so important for every single one of us. Texting has as I said, has no emotion in it whatsoever. You can make little funny faces, you can make sad faces, you can do that. That is nothing, because I don't know exactly how you're actually feeling. I don't know, because I can't hear it in your voice. And you can't hear me. You cannot hear my voice through a text. I encourage each and every single one of you, as you go through your days, go through your week, go through your year, learn how to listen and learn how to communicate. Because if we don't listen, we're going to miss the people who are going to take a shotgun and go out and shoot somebody. If we don't listen and if we don't communicate and if we don't try to help. Most of these individuals become reclusive. They stay in their rooms. They spend their time on texting and Facebook and everything else. And if we're not paying attention to what they're doing, and if we don't do something about what they're doing, then we are guilty of not being a human that listens and communicates. We have to keep our eyes and ears open. We need to speak out when we see someone in danger. Hate is a mental health issue, because mental health in hate, the mental health becomes contaminated worse every single day. Because it builds up and it builds up and it builds up until finally it explodes. And it can take just one word from an individual to set somebody off. Listen, I consider you all my friends out there. You're all my friends. And I love talking with you every single day. And I know that I see people, I look at my statistics every single day of what countries are listening to me and what cities in the United States are listening to me. And it's all over the world, even in Saudi Arabia. If you're in Saudi Arabia, thank you for listening. But I want you to start listening more to the people around you, to the people that you love, to the people that are not so friendly to you. Listen and communicate better. Because this is the way that we can help our communities and our families remain safe and secure through good, solid communication. It's so easy to hate. So easy. And if we go around in life hating every single day, as we see politicians running around hating and condemning and calling people racist and all these other nasty words that downgrade the American experience and the human experience, it does more damage than good. Politicians are the worst at communicating hate. I have not heard any politicians for a long time get up and say something that's positive for America or for our communities or for our families. I have not heard that. And they begin to support the wrong causes because that is political power to them. Not about the American need or whatever country that you're in. The politician is really not concerned about that. They're concerned about their power, not about the human experience. So they communicate negatively. And so when people communicate negatively, it begins to affect us negatively. That's why I said a year ago, I turned off the news stations and the social media stations that do news and commentary. I turned it off. And I only spend 30 minutes a day looking at the news. And then I'm done with it. I don't want to hear anything. All I want to be told is what the news is, what's happening, but I don't want commentary and I don't want analysis. I don't want any of that stuff because it's bias. So my communication process is also making good decisions on what I want to bring into my hearing and into my life on a daily basis. And negative news and negativeness just is not going to help me as a human being. So we need to know how to communicate. And we need to know how to listen. We need to know how to talk. And we need to know how to move through life without using the text all the time. Social media has destroyed our communication process. We communicate in little 4-letter words or pictures, that's how we communicate now. And we have got to stop that because we have got to listen, I tell you something. I am the type of individual that if I go to a restaurant, I will probably have a friend by the time I leave that restaurant. I have done that so many times where I sat down next to other people right next to the table next to me. By the end of the conversation, they were a friend, and they've been a friend for a long, many years. And our communication process is not through texting or Facebook. It's picking up the phone or meeting face to face for a cup of coffee and talking about good times and about bad times. It's the spoken word, it's the human ear that is being put into use to communicate with someone that you love. So, open yourself up to a new way of communication, the old-fashioned way. Open your mouth, say something. Open your ears, hear something. Open your heart and make good decisions. We need to start listening more. There may be someone in your family, there may be somebody at work that has a mental health issue that you need to hear. But you won't know unless you open up. It's so easy to say, oh, that's John. That's just John. But that's not just John. If he is showing a mental health issue where his communication process is failing and his hate is growing or whatever the issue may be, he needs your help. She needs your help. Get involved in other people's lives. Don't be these people who say, no, I don't want to get involved. We need to get involved through our communication. So each and every single one of you, I want you to go out there. I want you to start putting your phone down and begin to look around and seeing who you would like to talk to. Listen, when I'm on the plane, I have a captive audience of the person next to me. And let me tell you, I have heard some doozy of some stories that were life-changing. Stories that touched the heart, stories that made you angry, stories that made you enthusiastic about facing the day because of what that individual was going through in life. And when you sat there and listened, it came out. It's amazing. This human communication process of the spoken word and the open ear. Get involved. Practice it. Do it. Life is good when you communicate. And we need to learn to communicate better every single day, so we don't miss the people who have guns in their house that are going to click with their mental instability. It can happen anywhere in this country because of the mental health concerns that we have. And we can improve the mental health ability if we communicate and if we talk about mental health and if we go and we learn more about mental health, because it surrounds us all. You might even be sitting there listening to me today where you feel depressed, where you feel down and out, and you have no one to talk to. You do have someone to talk to. Just find them. Don't be afraid to ever talk about the frustrations and your life experience where you need to talk to someone. Don't ever feel that you cannot talk about your mental health concerns. The more you talk, the better your life will become and the help that you will get. And for us, all of us, if we don't practice a good communication process, we are going to miss out on those individuals that need help. I hope I've made some sense to you today. Normally, we talk about business and taxes and wealth and management and everything else on this podcast, but I have become highly concerned with our ability to communicate. When I have been doing mediation for so long, and it is a process of communication where I bring two parties together who are very angry or very concerned or very frustrated, and at the end we have an agreement where both sides have come together, but it's done through communication. So I'm always keen to this communication process, and I see that it is vanishing. It's vanishing. But we still have the ability to do something about it. It's not too late. It's never too late. Put your cell phones down. Open up your mouth, open up your ears. Greatest human experience ever, this human communication process. If you have any questions or comments, you can send a text to our corporate communication systems at 818-252-5682. You can tell me anything in the world and I will respond to it. I've seen some doozies. And a lot of times it's ended up on the phone talking it through. Let's communicate, guys. I'll talk with you soon.
This is brought to you by Lodge & Co., a business and tax advisory firm where your success is our goal. Call us today toll-free at 888-681-1518 or visit us at www.lodge-co.com and learn more about what we can do for you. Lodge & Co., your source for sound business and tax services.
Thank you for listening to the WBT with Michael Lodge. Join us again tomorrow as we explore more about business and taxes. Follow us on iHeartRadio and go to our podcast website at www.wbtpod.com and listen to all of our podcasts and read our blogs.
This has been produced by Michael Lodge, purely content driven.